Tensions have flared again between South Korea and Japan. This time, Japan sparked a conflict with South Korea's easternmost outlets of Dokdo. Korea now looks into what Dokdo did this week and what the Dokdo dispute between the two neighbors is all about. On Tuesday, Japan's education ministry announced that it would allow the country's elementary schools to use a dozen social studies textbooks starting next year. Tokyo's claims to Dokdo appear in 9 of them for use by 4th to 6th graders. In particular, those for 5th and 6th graders include stronger and more specific territorial assertions coupled with additional maps, photos, and other visual materials than the previous ones approved in 2014. Also inserted is what's considered to be a politically charged expression that Japan is continuously protesting against South Korea's unlawful occupation of Dokdo. It's a follow-up to the 2017 revision of teaching guidelines that describe Dokdo, the Kuril, and Senkaku Islands as Japan's indigenous territory, over which Tokyo is in a territorial dispute with Seoul, Moscow, and Beijing respectively. In addition, some textbooks include apparent distortions of history or descriptions seen as part of efforts to cover up historical facts. Regarding Japan's invasion of Korea from 1592 to 1598, a textbook for 6th graders says it represented just 2 dispatches of troops to Korea by Toyotomi Hideyoshi in order to conquer China. South Korea strongly condemned Japan on the same day for approving new elementary school textbooks with intensified claims to Dokdo and distortions of history. It also called on Tokyo to face up to the lessons of history and show a responsible attitude in the education of future generations. Vice Foreign Minister Lee Tae-ho called in Japan's ambassador to South Korea, Yasumasa Nagamine, to deliver a protest message. South Korea's Ministry of Education issued a separate statement demanding that Japan rectified the authorization of textbooks that distort history. Various historical records show that Dokdo, which is referred to as Takeshima in Japanese, or as Liankou Rocks in a more neutral expression from third parties, had belonged to Korea before the Imperial Government of Japan incorporated the island in 1905, arguing that it had been terra nullius under international law, which is utterly opposed to the historical fact. Dokdo has become South Korea's territory again with the Treaty of San Francisco, the Allied Powers' peace treaty with Japan after World War II. That's why South Korea keeps saying consistently that Dokdo is its indigenous territory by history, geography, and international law, and should not be dealt through diplomatic negotiations or judicial settlement. However, Japan disagrees with that and keeps bringing the Dokdo issue to the surface regularly. Koreans are traditionally sensitive to Japanese leaders' words or actions related to history or territorial issues. Korea was under Japan's brutal colonization from 1910 to 1945. They consider Japan's Dokdo claim as a legacy of Japan's imperialistic past and a clear sign that it's still not atoning for their past wrongdoings. All the more, according to some critics, concern has grown about Prime Minister Shinzo Abe's political views because he seems to take a nationalistic or ultra-conservative approach for political reasons. What are your thoughts on this? Please let me know with the comments below. Thank you for watching Korea Now, and like and subscribe for more.